Hey guys, Matt from Silencingadream here. Feeling one in the morning, like I said I would. I just got home from work not too long ago, just kind of trying to mellow out, trying to relax, playing a little fiddle. Um, I don't know what it was. Something about hanging out with a real good buddy of mine the other night really got me thinking about stuff. And I have a lot of time at work to just kind of walk around and think, so I did a lot of very deep thinking. And sometimes it's good for you, sometimes I feel like there's an almost like crushing weight to the I don't want to say the content of your thoughts, the manner in which you're trying to process things and you feel like it's not happening. So it's hard for me not to hard for me to ignore when I feel kind of that sense of unrest or uneasiness about some of the bigger things in life, I guess. So for a very long time, I've always, turned to music to help me enjoy, deal with, cope, enhance, or explain, you know, the more important things in life, because that's really what it is. That's where I think a lot of the best music comes from, is just people trying to process, or people trying to work through or work out or or just deal with the things that come up in life. And yeah, I don't know, I guess it took a while to sink in, but I had a, you know my best friend and I, we kind of go straight for the kill with the conversations. At least, it's like, hi, how you doing, we'll get caught up, whatever. So what's really going on, you know what are you feeling, what's going on in your life? And I'm very thankful to have him. um, I hope that others out there have someone like him to bounce things off of. For me, one of the biggest triggers. Sorry, I don't mean to turn this into like therapy hour. Although my therapist did retire last year. Yes, I did go to therapy, uh, and I think most people, it couldn't hurt. To be honest, it's nice to have someone to kind of just vent to or talk to, and you know give you that outside perspective on life and what's going on. Sorry, the screen starts to like go into screensaver mode or battery saving mode, so I got to touch the trackpad for it to light back up, since that's currently part of my lighting situation. But for a long time, I know when something's up and something's not right, or I'm unsettled up here because when I get in the car, my iPod hooks up to my radio, and it's like I'll get in that mood where it's like I don't know what to listen to, and I'll throw something on. I don't want to listen to that, so I'll find something. I don't want to listen to that. So, a lot of times I have a few fail safes, and I decided, yeah, I'm just gonna listen to my favorite album, which is S&M, the live album by Metallica with the San Francisco Symphony. Um, for some reason, I just went straight for Bleeding Me. For those of you that aren't familiar with Metallica's catalog, Bleeding Me is on Load, which came out in 1996, and I like the album version, but I really love the live version with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra. Maestro Michael Kamen at the helm. Um, and for me, it's because, like, God, I wish I could have gone to those. It was 2 nights they did in Berkeley. Oops, sorry. When they played those shows, and there's just, since okay, so I was a freshman in high school when that happened, and started listening to that album not long after, and it has served me well, and that came out in like '99, so the last 14 years, it's been one of my go-to, like, either I need to seriously think about things, or I need to reassess, or I need to tune out, although I didn't use it for that purpose this morning. Um, it's just something about that song, like that I just, and that version in particular, I feel like the band as a collective was in rare form that night, but that's totally get away from my point. I love that album to death. I could talk about it for days. It's been one of those go-to things for me, and I often think back to many moons ago when I had a job at a record store, and I was going through a kind of rough period in my life. And I was standing in the parking lot after work talking to a buddy of mine, and it was one of those things where it's like, damn, I don't want to go because I know as soon as I leave where I'm going, I know I'm going to have to deal with some kind of heavy stuff. And I reached that point where it's like, damn it, all right, I got to go, I got to leave, I got to go do this. And a buddy of mine said to me, what are you going to throw on? I was like, what do you mean? What, what music are you going to throw on? That's part of how I roll in life in general. I like having a soundtrack to it. It was funny. He kind of referred to me in the third person in front of me. Like, he said, oh, I'm standing here thinking, like, so he knows he's got to go deal with this. What does he turn to right now? What's his, all right, I'm going to do this. And I believe at that particular moment it was off the same double disc album, S&M, but I listened to Nothing Else Matters, and another favorite of mine. But it's the good and the bad thing about art. The older you get, I feel the more of it feels relatable on a far deeper level, and it's a good and a bad thing. Point to all this being like, going back to yesterday's video, like I've kind of been in a funk, I guess, and I haven't been able to fully acknowledge that, yeah, I'm in a funk. I'm kind of a weird headspace, and I've been trying to really get to the root of why. And I think when I was talking with my best friend, like, he kind of touched on it, and it took me a while to be like, what, maybe that is what that is what it is. It's bothering me. A lot of people close to me going through a lot of big life changes, and people changing careers, people settling down, people. Well, no, not anybody that's really close to me having kids, but I know a bunch of people that have kids now, and I think that's good for them if they're in a place where they feel like they can do that. I don't know. Maybe it's just my age. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that I'm younger than I am, even though people think I look younger than I am. I'm gonna be 29 here in a couple of months. I got a buddy that's gonna be 30 in a couple of days, but or tomorrow actually. So I'll be sure to give him a birthday shout out. Uh, the thing I want to get across, and it's funny, I had a conversation about my coworker, or with my coworker about it, is that it's okay to still be figuring out who you are, what you're doing, what your motivation, what your direction in life is. Our generation, I'm gonna say anywhere from like my age to a little older, and then a little younger. So I don't know, between 25 and 35 or so. Like I know a lot of folks that are maybe not where they thought that they would be, and kind of not scrambling, but I think they feel an internal pressure to make a decision or to make big decisions. Like, all right, well, I've reached this age. I feel like I'm coming up on said milestone in my life, and there should be something that happens in my life that marks that moment and kind of cements it. And like, that's right, I did this when I was 25, 30, 35, whatever. It was the point at which my life took this direction. And I do when I don't feel that. Like, I feel like I've gotten to a place where I'm okay with where I'm at because I know that I am taking steps that I feel are necessary to reach a certain outcome. And, in that way, that part of my brain's like, okay, we have a plan. That's good. Um, there's another part of me, though, that's just like, gets kind of caught up in the minutia of what if this was different, or what if that was different, kind of reflecting on past decisions that I've made with regard to, future decisions or motivations. And I'm not someone who regrets things, but I don't regret anything. It's just that I feel like I'm old enough to know that, you know, que sera, sera. Whatever will be. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of rough just, saying it out loud sometimes. Like, fuck. That really is what it is. And my girlfriend hates that saying. It is what it is. But, it's true in a lot of situations in life. Like, beyond what you, well, I feel that, like, the only thing you really have control of is yourself, personally. So, beyond what decisions I make for myself, there's not much I can do. I'm not the kind of person that forces my will or thoughts or expectations upon other people. I enjoy people. I love people for who they are. I love people because they're different. Same thing with art. I love art because all kinds of art because it is different. Because maybe I don't agree with that. But the fact that I don't agree with that sparks like an inner conversation or a personal conversation, I guess. Like, why don't I like that? What is it about said thing that I just rubs me the wrong way or whatever? I like getting into that and figuring out, like, so is it really that I don't like it, or is it the setting it's in, or the way it was presented, or there's all these other things that you could just think about forever that in total, I think, what does that all add up to? What is this whole rant coming to? Um, I've often thought that it would be funny to have like a metal band that wrote about the most metal subject ever, life. Like, you can come up with all this other subject matter that you think is like intense or heavy or, you know, thought provoking or, politically motivated or whatever. But like, at the end of the day, I personally believe that the most brutal thing that one can do is just get up every day, pay your bills, having a mortgage or, car payments or going to work. If it's not something that you're, super into, maybe it's just something you're doing to pay the bills in the meantime or, doing it while you're going to school. And, that grind that I see people going through on a daily basis, that's some heavy shit. And or just getting older, you know? Like I said, going back to the people going through a lot of changes in their lives and people that are close to me. Um, like I said, changing careers, making big life decisions. It's a lot to take in. You know, it's one of those things that causes me to pause and reflect. I'm grateful that I have that self awareness to be like, wait a minute, what does that mean to me? I think that in and of itself is a good thing, but maybe I've been a little too caught up in the head about some of it. So I'm gonna try and approach the coming day with a different outlook. I'm gonna make an effort to get up and be like, you know what? Things are all right. For all the things that I can think about that are kind of irking me or causing me to feel unsettled, there's a whole lot in my life that's just fine and that I'm very happy with. And I'm going to try and focus and appreciate that. You know, I know I bring up songs that I feel like have certain effects on me. One song that I do love, I'll play a little bit of the intro riff for you. I'll leave it at that. I actually don't know how well the microphone's picking that up. Def Leppard, Hysteria. Some will say it's a very cheesy, corny song. Very 80s, very 80s. Very 80s, like, power ballad, but I love that damn song. I love that chord progression, especially when the low note comes in. I won't get all music theory on you. It's an A flat G sharp. You know, that's the kind of stuff that keeps me going. The dumb things that make you happy. You know, for some people it's food. For some people it's drinking, although I hope not excessively. And you know, for me it's random songs from here or there that, you know, bring back all kinds of memories to me. And damn it, I hate it when that happens too. I feel like a lot of this stuff, the people that are close to me, like, I'll find myself going to songs that I kind of associate with them, maybe not personally, but like, you know, I remember this time me and so were doing this thing, you know, rocking out to this song. And actually, my best friend and I kind of have a running joke between us about the Smashing Pumpkins song Jelly Belly, because there's a minor disagreement there. I think the song is far greater than he thinks it is, but I think it's Jelly Belly. That's what got me thinking. But bottom line is, I'm going to try and approach this new day with a better outlook. Try and feel a little less clouded up in the head. And, you know, like I said, we keep grinding, we keep going. You know, we got a plan, and we're taking steps towards achieving that plan, and that's the most important part. So, my apologies for the mini therapy session here. I can see the little ticker down there is already like at 19 minutes. We'll see if I can upload this whole thing to YouTube, but we'll get there slowly. All right, guys. Sorry for rambling on. Maybe this is part of why I don't do videos late in my day, because by this time all this sort of stuff is built up in my head, and, you know, in the morning it's more like, well, okay, you know, here's where I am right now, before I've had time to kind of stew on life. But I'll try and shoot another video later. We'll see if I have time. If not, you're going to keep getting multiple videos per day until we're caught up. All right, guys. Much love. See you later.